Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On The Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He is the journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
I am so enthusiastic because God opened up the clouds.
Man.
And we got some sun and blue skies.
He did. Yes, it
We're
is
on the deck
gorgeous.
in the nice weather.
We have been in swampy, wet,
dank
just
is the word
dank,
you're looking for.
Gray, cold weather for the last almost 2 weeks now.
Listen, folks, think of London circa 1845. That's what it's been around Kansas City for a while. It's been bad.
It's been tough to be outside, that's for sure.
Yes.
So we're really excited that it is beautiful out here, and happy Throwback Thursday.
Happy Throwback Thursday.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to my station, Hot 107.7,
yes.
97.3.
Bringing back the roots.
It's not even called that anymore. It's called Power 90.
Power 106.9. Yes, Power 106.9.
But when we started the station back in the day, this is what it was called.
Hot 107.7.
Hot 107.7. Well, and we're wearing our polos.
Yes,
this came from a golf tournament we did.
Yes.
Because the Masters.
We are dressed up in honor of the opening day of the Masters. We're really excited because it's a fun event for, if you're just a casual golf fan, you get a chance to really just watch and enjoy it, and it's great coverage.
And if you're not a golf fan at all, this is the tournament to watch. This will help you understand the game a little better.
It's also cool, yeah.
But we're not even talking about the Masters.
We're not even talking about that, even though we're dressed up like we're getting ready to go golf. We're talking about the NBA and all the updates that we got to bring you as the playoffs are nearing, and everyone's trying to get their final spots solidified so that way they know who you have to play coming up. Only 16 teams make it into the playoffs out of 30, and you've got the East Coast and the West Coast. Right now we've got
the Biggie Tupac rivalry.
Exactly. That's exactly a great way to say it. So we've got the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes.
Both teams right now are, for the most part, rolling. Golden State has been on like a 9-game win streak. They really handled themselves.
Oh, no, they're on like a 12-game win streak.
It might be, you're right. Exactly. They've been killing it.
Balling.
Since Kevin Durant went out, he actually will return. I think it's this next game. If it's not this game, it's the next one against the Pelicans, I believe. And so they're going to try to get him reacclimated. But even without him, they've been looking really good. And then we had the big game last night with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics.
And that was for first in the conference.
First in the Eastern Conference. And for people that aren't exactly sure how it works, you know, any tournament play, you know, usually one seed plays the lowest seed, so on and so forth as you break it down. And Cleveland really has been slumping for the most part. They have had a really bad March. And February, they didn't do very well in February.
They had a decent February, which January was terrible. They kind of bounced back in
February,
and
but
they had
March
a disastrous March.
Not good. And everyone was talking about how the Celtics are the team now, and the Wizards are the team now, and even Toronto still is a team to really be looking out for. And so last night was kind of the real statement game for who's going to take the #1 spot in the East. And Cleveland shut down all those naysayers and all those conversations, and it was like a 25-point blowout in Boston, and it was crazy.
You know, the naysayer that Cleveland didn't shut down was LeBron James, because he's been their #1 naysayer.
That's true.
The whole season, he's been telling you how terrible they are.
Right.
We don't have enough big. We're too top heavy.
Yes.
We don't have a backup.
No backups.
The team's not tough. I'm tough. They're not tough.
Ownership's not paying for players. Yeah.
I mean, the biggest naysayer for the Cavaliers has been LeBron.
It's true.
And then when they asked him about the game yesterday, he's talking about it doesn't matter. Regular season. Don't talk to me about regular
finals. I don't care. I'm sorry, man. I don't really care about the regular season like that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you guys blow out the potential #1 overall seed in the East. So what does that say about that? Anyways, and Tristan Thompson, who's one of their best players, didn't even play. So that just lets you know that they're good. Their roster is just fine. So with all of that being said, with those two teams, as the Warriors and the Cavs, that will be a tight race. We're excited for that rematch, potentially. We also have another race that's going on that's not necessarily dealing with teams, but with individual players, and that's Russell Westbrook and James Harden. As this MVP race, because that's what we're talking about here in this moment, the MVP race is taking off. It is going to be down to the wire between who will actually win it. I know we've been expressive about who we think. What do you honestly believe will happen right now as these last couple weeks have passed and the running mates have kind of fallen off as far as like LeBron and Kawhi Leonard? with James and Russell kind of leading the charge here.
Well, listen, normally I'm like the happy cheerleader person, but I'm gonna tell you what I honestly think, and it's a little bit pessimistic. I think James Harden is going to win MVP.
Okay.
I absolutely am beside myself on that. I think any year James Harden is in the conversation, he's just a bad man. I'm a huge fan. But this year, Russell Westbrook deserves to win. But who I think is going to win, because when you hear people, voters or people are talking about, they all tell you how great Russ is and there's records and Russ is carrying the team on his back and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then they say that and then go, but I'm going to vote for James Harden. And so there's a part of me that's kind of the cynic that thinks that Russ is going to get jacked again.
Not to compare these two guys at all, because it really shouldn't even be bringing it up, but it's kind of like the whole Donald Trump situation. Everyone was, oh, I'm not voting for Donald Trump, but you went and voted for Donald Trump anyway.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, you want Russell to win, but you're going to vote for James Harden anyway.
Exactly. The only difference is people are actually being honest about it. People lied about voting for Trump.
They did.
They were secretly in there doing it. People are doing the, oh my gosh, Russ is great, but I'm going to vote for James.
I'm still voting for James.
And here's the thing, James Harden deserves it, and he's pretty much in the conversation, like I just said, every year.
Could have won it 2 years ago when Steph first won it.
Exactly.
A lot of people were upset, and then the players still voted James Harden as the MVP anyway, so he still kind of got that.
But who do you think?
I still personally think it should be Russell Westbrook. I still think he's doing everything by himself.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of people are saying, well, you know, he's just stat stuffing right now, and so if you're going off of statistics, then no, I'm not talking about statistics. I'm talking about as an individual player. Without Russell Westbrook, the Thunder wouldn't even be in the playoffs, period. So therefore, for me, I feel like you have to vote for Russell, because James Harden, his team is well put together. They've got Mike D'Antoni, who might be coach of the year. They've got a roster full of guys that can stroke. They got bigs. They've got defense. They're fine. So I feel like Russell is the MVP, but I agree with you. I think James Harden any other year is the MVP. Always. I love James Harden,
and let's talk about adversity too.
Like it's gonna be tight. Yeah,
it is gonna be tight. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But let's talk about adversity too, because people they always say, well, if you take any star off their team, they're not the same. That's sort of true.
Right.
But in Russell's case, you took the star off the team. You took KD and left. Nobody took him. He left. He took himself.
He
took his ankles and left.
Going up north.
And but what you had was a guy who's literally carrying that team on his back.
Right.
You're not talking about the Orlando Magic. Name 3 players on the Magic. I mean, you can, but my point is,
it's gonna be tough though. I'm gonna have to really get after it. I have to look at it.
Take Russell Westbrook off the Thunder.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, you take LeBron off the Cavs. Well, I can tell you, you got Tristan, you got Kyrie, you got Kevin Love. There are teams that have more than one guy, not the Thunder.
Well, and
they don't.
For Russell, he tied Oscar Robinson's triple-double record with 41. Now, the team that in that game, the team that the Thunder were playing was the Milwaukee Bucks.
Now, 3 guys on that team.
Exactly. I mean, there are some solid players, but you take Russell off of that team, off of the Thunder, and you just have a regular game. That game's not primetime television matchup. Between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah,
so for me, it's got to be Russ. I kind of agree with you. I wouldn't be that surprised if James did win it. Okay, so with winning, is there anybody else, any other teams, any other franchises besides Golden State and Cleveland that can challenge these two teams to make it to the finals, or at least give the fans something else to look forward to when it comes to, hey, who else maybe could win the championship?
Let me tell you what percent chance that is. 0.
There's 0%
chance.
No teams.
No, 0. Okay. 0. And I'm sorry, Spurs fans, because we were all like, oh, maybe the Spurs. Nope. The Warriors came in, ran them off.
Yes, they did.
And then I can't even go back to the Spurs running the Cavs off the floor. We can't even go back to that. The answer is no. These two teams are just playing that much higher than everybody else right now. And in a game in the middle of the week, could they get somebody? Yeah. But in a series, no one's taking down the Cavs in the series in the West, and nobody's going to get Golden State in a series in the West. The
actual West,
So no.
I happen to agree with you. I think last night just proved that within the West, the weak East, Boston doesn't have anything for Cleveland. I think the Wizards are a potential team, but they don't have anything. In Toronto, without Kyle Lowry, just can't get it done.
Well, you know what? You can tell when it's close to playoffs. It's getting spicy.
Tensions are getting real high right now.
And LeBron got after it, and then the Pacers, they almost had a gang fight because the Raptors were in town.
Yes.
Mad about layups at the end of the game.
They did.
Quit being salty about baloney.
Well, and on top of that, I just want the NBA to continue to be at a high level. And so I don't want to see sloppiness. I just want to see good basketball. Now, on top of that, I will say Scoop Jackson, who's a great reporter for ESPN, does a lot of great things.
Your sister met Scoop
Jackson.
She
did. He did come to Kansas City, and, you know, he was a really nice guy. He did a montage of the NBA for this season as we close out here. And he was talking about how this is one of the best basketball seasons that has ever taken place. I would agree with that as far as statistically and how the flow of the games have been going. There's been an all-time low of turnovers and fouls.
And they're not traveling much this year.
Teams are averaging 100 points a game. It's just really fun. You got Russell Westbrook balling out. You got KD up there with Golden State. Cleveland looks like they're going to be another contender. You know, it's just been good. But I think with all the drama, it still is taken away from the season. And so it's just a little frustrating because you don't want this to be, you know, a thing. But because it is, you know, you just have to continue to go on.
Next time we talk about the NBA, I want to talk about that fight. About pros crying about somebody scoring a layup in the last seconds.
Oh, well.
We'll get back to that. Put a pin in that.
Yeah, we will get back to that. And, that's just funny to me. We got a whole nother topic about that. But anyway, we just want to say we appreciate your time, and we're really excited for the Masters as we're festive. The NBA postseason's getting ready to start, so be tuned, and we'll see you next time, folks.